Hello, and welcome to the moment you've all been waiting for. The final combination of Combiner Wars G1 Superion. So yes, this guy also technically includes Power Glide, who becomes a gun. I'm going to do a separate review for him next, so if you are actually interested in seeing this guy and his transformation and everything, see the next video that will probably be getting released at the same time as this one. So it's going to be kind of like a little mini thing, and this will be the main event, so check that out, and I'm going to pretty much ignore him, then he's going to become a gun later, and we're not going to really talk about it. Okay, bye. First off, I'm going to be taking our buddy Silverbolt here into torso mode. And I'm going to do this stuff pretty quickly because there's like a million reviews of this out already, and for the most part, these toys are pretty simple. So I don't necessarily feel like I need to do like a detailed, like, first do this, then do that. So the one annoying thing about this is this chest piece right here, what is Silverbolt's chest piece, opens up to flip his head out in robot mode. Wait a second. I figured it out. You can just pop your finger in there and push it. I was going to say it's really annoying to get this thing, and I've been seeing a bunch of people like pulling on these little rubber things to pull it out, and other people trying to pull it out using this thing or like jamming things in there. I was going to say there's not really any good way to do that, but apparently the good way to do that is that. So, you saw it here first, folks! I actually don't know. Other people might know that. I could be slow. Who knows? So, yeah, this torso stands on its own, which is kind of cool. Totally useless, but cool. So this comes out of his chest and then flips up around, and then that little notch hits in there. These things fold out like so. You want to make sure this is flipped up first, because it'll kind of... Oh, you have to make sure his head is pushed back. Flip this up like that, and that will fill out what would be a giant gap there otherwise. And then these are kind of going to, like, tooth together and lock in all the junk up in his trunk. These back here, you can do whatever you want with. There are tabs there, so they will kind of peg into the side flaps here. It's up to you whether or not you want to have them like that or not. And that's torso mode. Oh. And that's torso mode. So I will be using Skydive and Alpha Bravo here as the legs. I'm only going to do one limb transformation per limb bot because they're all basically the same, and they're going to get remolded to hell, and we're going to talk about each mold like 50 million times by the time this line is done. So I really don't feel like I need to go into every single limb transformation for every single robot. They're kind of obvious after you've played with like 4 or 5 Combiner Wars figures. They all work one of like 3 basic ways. So these guys are going to be the legs. I'm going to be using Firefly and Air Raid for the arms, specifically because they have a really good arm. The placement for the robot arms in their own arm modes is good. You'll understand when we get there. Legs. Obviously take the gun off. I do really wish that this guy didn't require you to undo all of this stuff to be able to do this, because it's really kind of annoying. That's the one bad thing about using him as a leg, because you don't actually need to move this stuff, but you need to move it anyway. I'm just going to grab a footsie wootsy and plop it on there. And you can do whatever you want with these. I usually angle these out like that. And there you have one of them in leg mode. This guy is pretty easy. I don't know why I undid the arms. That was totally unnecessary. Oh, because it's sometimes easier to get these things in when they're not there, but it's not hard. Grab another footsie wootsy. that's him in leg mode. So then you got both the legs. Like that. Alright, getting these guys into arm mode is also pretty easy. Basically, you're just going to be putting them into robot mode with their combiner ports sticking out. Flip this stuff all up. Now, you want to put his arms like this and rotate them like this so that these little cutouts fit with these. And then you're going to maneuver them like so, so that the arms grab onto these little pegs right there. Like that. And then as you see, the arms fit around there, and they're kind of up and secured away, which is nice, which is why I use him as one of the arms, because not all of them have these. Pop on one of these little dealios and handify it. And there you have arm number 1. And very similarly, this guy has these little pegs right here on the sides, and you can put his arms like that, and then they will peg in on the sides of the arm like so. And that also will keep his arms all straight and tidy and all that stuff. So that is why I use these two guys as the arms and the other two guys as the legs, just because Alpha Bravo and Skydive don't really have any arm securing things that I've been able to find. I might be wrong about that, but I know that these guys do. Handy wandy. Whoops. There we go. So starting with the legs, I want to grab Mr. Torso here, and they're just going to fit in there like that. And then I usually fold the hand back, although it doesn't technically do anything. Again, slide that in. And there you have my wall. And arm number 1, just going to slide in here. Arm number 2, slide in there. And then, as you can see, Powerglide has formed kind of an attachment to the gun here in sort of a target master mode. And he can be held as a weapon. So there you have, in all of his glory, Combiner Wars Superion. And I apologize about my horrible wall, but I don't have the Combiner Edition review box. It needed to be taller, probably, but then it wouldn't fit on my desk, so whatever. But yeah, this guy looks pretty decent, man. I know a lot of people are kind of wigging out about, like, his legs or something being skinny. One of the things I've actually started doing, and really just for storage, is to take the two double-barreled situations and put those on the sides right here and there. and kind of use them to like bulk out the legs a little bit. And I usually kind of throw this up here. So, I mean, you can do any number of things with the weapons, but that seems like a decent enough storage space, and it kind of does end up filling out his thighs a little bit. I don't particularly care, and I've probably said this a million times in my reviews already, but these are alien robots that transform into things, so I don't really need them to have, like, exactly human proportions. I'm not bothered by there being a gap in their arms, because they're machines. There could be a gap in their arms. They could have very, very thin, strong legs. I mean, these are not people, so they're robot people. I don't really care if they look a little wonky, because they're an alien robotic species, so that's like, that could be normal for them. Maybe all of them have gaps in their heads. Who knows? I don't know. So, yep, definitely, I like the fact that their arms store away, and, like, you can move the arms around and all that stuff, and it's not gonna mess anything up, so. Yes, indeedy. So, pardon the darkness, but I can't really fit combiners in my review space, and most of my combiners are kind of big. So, for some size comparisons, here he is next to Make Toys Quantron and Warbitron Bruticus. Or Computron, rather, not Quantron. And here he is with Mastermind Creations Feral Rex and Abominus, Unique Toys Abominus Orden. Here is Combiner Wars Superion next to TFC Project Uranos. And hey, look, I found a use for that cape that comes with the Make Toys Nemesis tanker. Yeah, this guy can't stand for shit. I really love this guy. A lot of people hate on him and think he's terrible. I think he's great. I even like the chest guy. I don't know why everyone hates him. He's cool. He cannot stand for, like, to save his life. Even though he's not alive, he's inanimate. So I guess he failed at that. He needs those rubber feetsy thingies, so I don't know. That would be cool. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like they might have put those out with another one of their combiners or something. So maybe I can buy them. But yeah, that's why he's standing on this. So ignore that. Totally different aesthetics. Very, very, very different things. I just spent like... I watched like 3 MGO reviews and like a couple music videos while transforming and combining this guy, and I did that like in 5 minutes. So this is a time-consuming collector's item for like puzzle play, people who want to spend 10 minutes transforming a single robot. Like that, very good. Toy, also very good. So really depends on what you're looking for in a Superion. But they both look cool together. It's like Superion and Superion Jr. See, I really wish I'd known, and then he could be my G2 Superion. And then he would be my G1 Superion. Hasbro! So his head is on a swivel. It can go all the way around, but it kind of smacks into the stuff in the back a little bit. So I don't force it. His arms have full rotation. They also have outward movement. Pretty decent range. He's got upper arm swivel and like a good elbow bend. It's pretty much the same on both. This guy actually, like, they technically kind of have double elbows because of the way that their arms work. And then you have the hand rotation and whoops, and then all the movement that you get from the hands. He has ratcheted hips, outward movement, upper leg rotation, a knee. Oops. So, I mean, you can get a lot of really decent poses out of these guys. They have a lot of articulation. The only problem really is that they don't have any kind of tilt or anything in the feet, so you always have to kind of play a balancing game. But I just did that with one hand in 2 seconds around a camera, so it's not difficult. You just have to understand how center of gravity works, and then you're good to go. All in all, I think they did a really good job. I know people are, upset that they're not more complicated, or they're not digging the reuse of molds, but I get it. To each their own, but I've been loving this line so far. I know that there's some... I already have like 2 Alpha Bravo molds. I have a couple of the Stunticon molds already. But then there's also new molds like Rook, and he's going to get used for Swindle and Hound, I think it is, and Skyrain and Bruticus, so... But I really do think they're doing a good job with these. I really love combiners in general, so I kind of am very forgiving of anything that combines. Short of like power core combiners, I guess are really the only combiners I'm not super hot on and don't really have any super motivation to buy. But I think this thing is fantastic. If you're looking for a Superion and you do not want to drop like $500-600 on Project Uranos, or you don't like it, which is very possible, lots of people don't, this guy is a really pretty great alternative. And like I said earlier in one of my reviews, he is getting a G2 repaint at some point, I think next year. So we'll have a G2 Superion and a G2 Menasor, and I'm hoping that we get a G2 Devastator. That is a super holy grail of mine that I want a big... an orange G2 Devastator would be even better, but at least a yellow one would be awesome, because I already have Hercules. But yep, this guy's great. I think he is definitely worth picking up. I think he's my second favorite. I think I like Defensor the most, him second, and Menasor third, I think. If I were to rank them right now off the top of my head, that's how I would go. So, I will be starting with, I don't know which one I'll do next. I might do Devastator next, since he's the newest. But you guys will see. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.